Hey guys, I'm Dr. Sebastian Gonzalez. I'm going to show you today how we can reduce hamstring tension, tone, or chronic tightness without foam rolling, stretching, or massaging. Actually, and this is going to be more of a neurological based reset today. Now, in case you're wondering, how the heck can we get the hamstring to loosen up if we don't massage it? Great question. So at a lot of times, I'd say a strong 75% of the time, we actually have hamstring tightness as a guarding response. We're guarding against something. If we were playing chess, we're guarding against our king being taken because we're throwing pawns in the way. This tightness is basically a pawn. Your body is laying down pawns so we save what it's trying to save. It's compensating. So what we're going to do here is we're actually going to improve the neurological slide to get it so that you actually feel better. Now, some of you might have seen an exercise like this similar to this passive straight leg raise where you just kind of grab it and hold it. I don't want you to do that necessarily. I actually want you to have the hands firmly against the ground and push into the ground a little bit. And I want you to bring actually your heel towards the sky as far as you can with the knee locked. What we're attempting to do here is actually not lengthen the hamstring. We're trying to improve the slide of the structures through the hamstring. And specifically, we're trying to move the sciatic nerve through the hamstring as it travels down. All right? Some of you might have heard of piriformis syndrome. This would be kind of piriformis syndrome, but of here, because the sciatic nerve can get kind of tension through there. I'd do about 10 reps per that side. That's the issue. By the way, if you didn't test your hamstring length in the beginning, you probably should have. Next is we're actually going to go up high again, force these to the ground, and make circles with the foot. 10 circles one way, and 10 circles the other way. Watch my belly here, because this is actually a really important part. If I were just chilling and relaxed and have my hands over my head, this area is going to start to flare. I actually want to pin that thing down, and you can actually do, I don't want most people to do a baby crunch. It might work for some people, or take the hands and drill them into the ground, and that's going to help set that belly into position. Okay? And 10 the other way. Now, some people actually might have what we call a positive slumps test, which in this position, actually leg up and foot back and looking at it are actually the most provocative and the most irritating of any of the positions for this person. Usually this happens with an issue of slide mechanics, or sometimes with a disc injury that can also produce that type of hamstring tightness. Obviously you want to go see your doctor and see if this is something that is going to work for you. But what I usually see this in people who have more of a chronic based condition. If you have more questions on this, and actually if it worked for you for the most part, then I think you should really start to consider why your hamstring is tight in the first place. Again, we can continue the insanity of trying to stretch, and the next day you got to stretch. But realistically, if you take a good graded exposure and a step-by-step approach to this, your hamstrings aren't going to be tight anymore. All it's going to take is just doing the right thing for a set amount of time. I tend to find after a couple months, a lot of people tend to respond very favorably. And after that, I mean, during that time, they're actually doing their workouts as well. But they've had the wrong guidance along the way. You have to make sure that you're stabilizing the areas that need to be stabilizing. In a very simplistic way, your body is asking for something. It needs something. It needs you to move that king away. If you don't move that king away, this is going to continue. Let's just find out what your body needs and give it to it. Simple, right? If you guys have questions, again, there's links below to the course that I put together mainly for runners that are having chronic hamstring tightness that are not responding to foam rolling, massage, and stretching. These ones are a very certain type of population set. If you're another group that had actually a bruise, a tear, and that type of thing happened to your hamstring, then you're going to need to address it a very different way. Everybody is very different. I'm just going to lay out the things that have worked for me in clinical practice in a step-by-step fashion, and hopefully it helps you.